Hello, everybody. It's Thomas.
And as always, it's your boy, Carson S. Davis.
It's your boy.
Give me that.
Welcome back to Real Talk Shorts, where this week we will be discussing Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, give me that.
There we go.
Thomas, we're a half episode away from being to double digits.
Double digits. And
We're a half episode away from being to 15 hours.
And on episode 10,
Yeah.
Oscars.
Give me that.
This Sunday, live Sunday, February 9th at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m.
That's my thing.
All right, whatever.
Okay.
Well, had to tell the people.
I was going to do it.
Anyways, hey, before we get this episode off to the races, I want to give a shout out to a very special person.
I'm already
Sean
worried.
Denny.
Oh, yes.
Hey, our very first supporter on Anchor.
Hey,
And
shout out to you, my guy.
hey, and not only did Sean do the bare minimum. He didn't do the bare minimum. No, he did the maximum amount.
No, he went all the way.
He went all the way.
Like LBJ.
Hey.
That's a play. Never mind.
Yeah, and right here,
Yeah.
support us on Anchor.
Hey, Real Talk is brought to you by you.
Head over to anchor.fm. No.
Wrong button.
Let me do this. Head over to anchor.fm and find our Real Talk page. The notes or the link will be in the notes for this episode.
The description.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Just click on that link. Head over there and you can donate as little as 99 cents a month, or you could be like our guy Sean Denny
And donate
$10 a month. Or
$10.
is it $10 a month? No.
It was $9.99, I believe.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it is $10 a month.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a horrible plug, but here we are, episode 9.5.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing. Just
Thomas,
head over there and you'll get a shout out. Let me silence my phone.
Yeah, let me silence my phone.
If you want a shout out
Kids these
in
days.
Real Talk and potentially on our Instagram,
Oh,
not even potentially, you will get a shout out on our Instagram.
is Sean gonna get a shout out?
I'm gonna do that after this episode.
Yeah.
Go over to anchor.fm, click on the link in the notes below, and go give us some money. All right, that's what you got to do for a shout out. Anyways, hey, this episode we got Jojo Rabbit because it was not available online
Until
on Sunday when
yesterday.
we recorded. Yes, and we both watched it yesterday.
And hey, one word. Wow.
Hey, picture.
That okay. Hey, I might be brash. That has 100% potential to be a cinematic motion picture.
It does, because
that is a movie that's going to gain a cult following.
Is.
It's got to.
It's a movie for the masses.
Yeah.
It's not a critic's movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie for an audience.
Yeah.
And it's nominated for Best Picture and friggin' well deserved too.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow. I enjoyed this one maybe more than any other film I watched. I mean, it was just a lighthearted movie, but it was also sad and it was satirical. It was taking a dark subject.
Perfect balance of
Yeah.
comedy and actual truth to the story because
it's taking such a controversial matter and making it lighthearted and fun but also it's doing it in a tasteful way.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to insult anybody or.
So let's get into it and let's just tell them all, hey, beware.
Spoiler alert.
You already know.
Spoiler alert.
So if you haven't seen it yet, you
Yeah.
might want to come back. We want you to watch the show. Just
Yeah.
we don't want to ruin the art of the cinema.
Well, and it's a pretty short movie. It's only an hour and a
90
half.
minutes. Yeah.
That's how long it takes to listen to an episode of Real Talk. So if you can listen to an episode of Real Talk, you can watch Jojo Rabbit and
Yeah.
get back over here
Yeah,
afterwards for some banger content about Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a little tiny bit about this on the way over here. But here's what I want to talk about. Well, let's start with the lighthearted because that's where the movie begins.
Yeah.
It starts.
It's essentially
In a
World
very-
War II in Germany during the Holocaust through a 10-year-old's eyes.
Right. Which brings me to Hitler's character in the movie.
Yeah.
He's not real in the movie.
No,
he's his imaginary friend. Mm-hmm. But it's what I thought was cool about Hitler in the movie. It just sounds weird saying, but what I thought was interesting about it was that Hitler it's not like they're just doing that because it fits the style of the movie. They're doing that because for a little boy growing up in Nazi Germany who has never met Hitler, this is what Hitler's made out to be. You know, he's made out to be this like father figure, you know, this guide, you know. And so from the eyes of a 10-year-old boy in Nazi Germany, this is what his imagination thinks Adolf Hitler is like.
Of course.
And so it's this childish version
Especially
of him.
like his dad who fought in the war, and
Right.
his mom acted like she supported it.
Right.
And it's funny because they relate it to like how a kid now would fanboy at like a rapper or something.
Right.
You know? It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's Hitler.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
You know? And it was really interesting to see them. So I mean, it's hard to say accurately because you don't know, but so accurately portray this children's version of Hitler and what they thought he was.
Yeah.
You know, and by no means is this movie like a historically accurate thing or
it's
anything
satire.
like that.
Yeah.
But it does have some elements of history
course.
in it and stuff like that. You can't neglect what the Nazis were.
Of course. It had a lot of Wes Anderson in it to me.
It did, but it was still different.
Muted.
It was
Yeah,
still different
yeah.
from Wes Anderson. And that
But
was
it-
just the
Little things.
yeah. What was the name of the director who was also Hitler in the movie?
Taika Waititi. I think.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I mean
it's
I know
Taika Waititi,
I know
yeah.
that's it. I just have a hard time pronouncing that.
Let me see what else he's done. He did. I know that Thor movie recently, Thor Ragnarok. He did that.
Yeah. No, he was extraordinary in that. Honestly, I thought he was definitely the most interesting role.
Yeah, and he directed it too. I mean, it's just like
Yeah. So this guy,
That's totally his
this
movie.
guy is what you would call a visionary.
yeah, definitely.
Because-
And let's talk. You know, I know you're talking about. I just got to say this though. How was was it Ronan or Roman Griffin Davis not nominated for Best Supporting or Best Actor?
Was he the kid?
The little boy, the main dude.
I was wondering that.
Like, come on, family.
Yeah, no, he was really good, and especially when and again,
Spoiler alert.
especially when his mom died.
Oh,
That was great. I mean, I haven't seen acting from a kid like that since I watched Gilbert Grape.
yeah, and that's Leo
You know?
DiCaprio.
And that's saying something. So
That
congratulations,
that
kid.
scene where his mom dies,
Ugh.
Leonardo DiCaprio, and he has to go in there.
I don't understand how he wasn't nominated right there and won. I mean, he should have won an Oscar for his first performance.
Who else was in that? Johnny Depp. Was he
Johnny
in that?
Depp. I think that was one of his first movies.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, but
It's a
anyways,
great picture.
It is a picture. It is a picture. But anyways, while we're on the director, the job of a director and why people hire directors in the first place is because of their vision. Okay, so the director is, they read the script, and the movie is essentially the product of what the director saw in their head when they read the script for the first time, right? And so it's the job of the director is to communicate what's in his head and get it out for all these professionals to really craft into a movie. Okay, so like the director's kind of the captain of the ship, creatively. That is. And you have producers and all that crap for other, financial purposes and whatnot. But that's the job of the director, and wow, he killed it. And you watch a movie like this, and you're like, how does a brain come up with this?
Yeah,
With
exactly.
this,
Concept.
well, with the interpretation, like how do you read? I mean, I haven't read the script,
Yeah.
but how do you read something like that and that's what you see?
Well, he
Like,
wrote it.
Like did he? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, even then, even better. But how do you imagine something so dark and controversial as this childish kind of? It's a very eccentric.
I had read somewhere
version
last
of this
night
world.
that I read it after the movie because I always do that when I watch a movie. I go like said movie, interesting
Yeah.
facts, whatever.
Yeah.
I read that Waititi saw pictures of Germany during that time, and it was like surprisingly fashionable.
Really.
Like people wore vibrant colors, and it was like a fashionable city, like celebratory, but it's always presented as like dark and dreary and drab. And he wanted to like kind of take a stab at that to see how that would look, and you can obviously tell that's how he
Yeah.
did it. I mean,
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's costume in that was
I think I originally put costume design for Jojo Rabbit on there, but I think last episode I changed it to Little Women. Where's costume?
I kept Little Women.
Oh, I did. I changed it to Little Women and had it at Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit could easily take this home.
Yeah, it could. I just don't know. It's not getting many other awards at any of the other ceremonies.
I think I wish Jojo Rabbit would, because
Yeah.
if for no other person's costume in the whole movie, Scarlett Johansson's.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
I
know?
want to look this just a minute.
For especially, and this ties the costume into the directing.
Yeah.
Because the director has to communicate his ideas to every department, not just camera, but to costume design. I mean, I've heard stories. David F. Sandberg, who directed Lights Out and the recent Shazam movie,
Okay.
he makes a lot of features on podcasts and stuff. And
Hey, would you want to come on ours?
yeah, hey David F. Sandberg, what are you doing? No, but he talked about how, like, on the set of Lights Out, you're just there to answer questions, because you'll have, like, props department would come up to you and they'd give you pictures. They'd give you an album of 30 shovels, and you'd have to pick the shovel that you wanted. And it's just a shovel that's, like, somewhere in the background,
Wow.
And
What is
it's
this
like
for set dressing?
set dressing, props, whatever, just you have to have such a clear vision in your mind to know what shovel
you want in the background.
And it's like, you don't think about that when you write a script.
No.
Some people think that all these genius directors, they just show up and they have the movie in their head. A lot of times you don't. Like, there's foggy areas, and that's why all these professionals are there. They're there to help you figure that out. So you say, I don't know.
Exactly.
Well, this person's a professional on shovel handles.
Yeah.
So it's so in depth, and that's what I love about the whole process.
Yeah.
But anyways, on directing, I feel like I've said that 3 times already, but on directing 4 times.
On directing
yeah.
5 times.
There was a Schindler's List moment in here.
Oh, in the film part?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where in Schindler's List, the girl with the red coat,
Yes. Yes.
she doesn't have anything to do with the story. She's just running through the background. You see her in the red coat. The only color in the entire film, right? Immediately, you know it's important.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
Later in the movie, you just see her being carried off on a stretcher. That's it. She's in 2 shots in the movie, and it's one of the most powerful things in cinematic history. Okay? There was a moment like that in Jojo Rabbit. Now, it's not in black and white. Far from it.
Yeah.
Very vibrant film.
Yeah.
But the amount, and I caught myself questioning this because from a directorial standpoint, I've directed things in the past, I can see, like, okay, he's using a close-up here. That's going to be important, but why?
Yeah.
And so the first time when they're at the gallows and there's those 5 people hanging there, he says, what did they do? Jojo says that, and then Scarlett Johansson's character said they
this
did what
line.
they can. Or they did what they
Beautiful.
could.
Yeah.
And you're like, at that point, you don't know that she's hiding the Jewish girl
Yeah,
in her,
but
in her attic.
There was still a part where you
There
knew
was still- you
that
still-
she was not on that side, really.
Right.
What a line.
It was a line that really kind of shifted the movie
Yeah.
towards more of that, less playful, more serious.
Yeah.
But still maintaining that balance so well.
Yeah.
But then after that, there would be shots like when they were riding their bikes, right? And they're at that dam, I think, right?
Yeah.
And she's standing on the wall, and he's right here, and all you see is her shoes, and he's just talking to her like that. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because it seems so insignificant at the time. You're just like, oh, pretty shoes.
Yeah.
But it nails that into your head 3 times. I think.
I know. Yeah, and she's dancing because
Yeah,
she's
and
like,
it
this is what you
has-
do to celebrate.
I think it has at least 3 shots, just close-ups of her
Her
shoes.
shoes.
And the same composition as when she's
Genius.
hanging.
Genius.
That's like one
And
of
he
the
sees
greatest
the shoes.
directing choices
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's so genius.
Yeah, that was the most not beautiful. It wasn't beautiful, but it was.
It was beautiful. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't beautiful in the
That she died, but it was how they did
content
it,
of
yeah.
it, but it was just how that was told.
Yeah.
So genius.
Oh, so
Honestly,
genius.
like, is he's not even nominated for best director.
He isn't.
I don't think so. No.
Nope.
No. And he should
But
be.
I mean, he is up there with. I mean, come on.
What?
Like, he's up there with
On Best Picture?
He's up there with a guy named Marty Scorsese,
Yeah.
a guy named QT, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got.
Now, are you talking
But I
about...
mean, this dude should be in with the likes of him, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And he probably will be. I mean, he's done some stuff before that were pretty good.
Well,
and
and
I wonder what he'll do next.
And I've noticed that a lot the movies where I notice great directing, it's usually someone I haven't heard of before.
Well, because you probably get accustomed to certain styles where it's
Right,
not
like
as,
you go into a Spielberg movie expecting great directing, so you're
Yeah.
just like, well, obviously
Yeah.
it's Spielberg, you know. And I kind of did that with Deakins,
Yeah.
cinematography in 1917, still blew me away. But there was a movie a couple years ago with Owen Wilson, where they're in Asia. What's that called? I don't remember. But that movie, I remember, struck me.
No Escape.
Yes, that movie struck me by having great directing. Obviously, Jojo Rabbit did. Parasite recently blew me out of the water.
Good directing.
And I'd never seen
Great
anything by
directing.
him before, you know?
Yeah.
People are getting extremely good at this craft.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely good. I'm so excited to see movies this year, too.
Yeah,
Just-
because I think it's either going to be 2020 will either be a like even better film because these people are starting to get recognition
Right.
and like getting more funding,
Right.
or it's going to be like a down year because they're going to have to be
'cause
making
it's
these
so-
movies.
It's gonna be so hard to beat. I mean,
Yeah.
there literally was not a movie on this year's Best Picture lineup that I didn't like.
No, someone asked me today, what was your favorite movie out of all the best pictures? Because I finally watched them all. And
It seems impossible to choose.
I think
one.
I answered, I was like, it's so hard to answer that because artistically I like some better than others, but entertainment wise,
Yeah,
acting wise, I like,
yeah. I mean, they're all great for different reasons.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
you cannot compare Jojo Rabbit to The Irishman.
No,
Completely different movies.
you cannot compare Joker to Marriage Story.
No, you can't compare Joker to really anything else on this list.
yeah.
But I mean, really, you can't put anything next to any of these movies. You can't put 1917 next to Parasite.
No,
You can't put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood next to Jojo Rabbit.
no. You can't put Ford versus Ferrari next to Little Women.
You can't put The Irishman next to Marriage. Like, these are all so
All
different.
stand alone. Like they all deserve an Oscar for this.
I am so excited for Sunday.
I am because like I want to see a win, but I also feel like
I'm also nervous because
Like-
I feel like I'm gonna get let down at some points.
but
too.
it's like how do you, yeah. But it's also like
But I'm also excited because Keanu Reeves is presenting an award.
I saw
Gotta love that guy.
they put out who was it that's keep talking. There's gonna be dead air for me.
No, but Jojo Rabbit, like honestly, it's some of the best directing I've seen in so long. But we've given a ton of credit to the directing.
Oh,
you
Will
know?
Ferrell's presenting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a post on Instagram today that was listing off all the presenters.
Yeah.
And I was searching through it, hoping that Keanu Reeves was one of them.
Why?
I don't know. He just
You just wanted
he's
to-
just
Tom-
he's a cool guy.
Tom Hanks is. Oh, Taika Waititi is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
he is.
I think he will become.
Elton John is.
I think he will become one of my favorite directors. Easy,
Yeah.
because he's so different.
Yeah. It is and it's a solemn like expansion of thought.
Yeah,
It's like, here I'm going to blast you with this crazy idea, but then I'm going to bring you right back down to earth with the reality of it.
yeah. Well, like even just soon and after the most intense movie or the scene in the movie where his mom dies, Hitler's back and he's being funny again.
Yeah, it's like, how do you do that?
You know, and,
How did you
and when
get
his
that off?
and when his friend comes back and he's like in the war, you know, and
when
he's
he's
like, I
wearing
cried,
the paper
and
costume.
he's like, I cried for ages when I heard your mom. They even when they're talking about his mom dying,
Yeah.
it seems trivial.
Yeah.
So they perfectly walk this tightrope.
Perfectly.
Like
Perfectly.
you don't feel lost in the movie. You don't feel like you're getting robbed out of like a certain scene because it jumps right from the sadness back into happiness. You
Yeah.
don't feel like you're getting robbed of that emotion or that time to think about it. either.
Yeah. And
Because
it's funny how that relationship with the
With-
girl that she had hid in, the Jewish girl who had lived in their house,
Yeah.
how that relationship stemmed from in the viewer's perspective, how that relationship stemmed between her and JoJo as a farcical kind of mesh
Yeah.
to an actual like powerful like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
that's
like
beautiful.
another powerful scene, almost up there with where his mom died, was when he lied about the war being over. Because it's like at this point, you know, he did that because he
he
doesn't
didn't want
want
her to leave. Yeah.
but and the way it ended too was just so fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like a perfect ending for that type of movie where they start dancing.
Exactly.
And that was a seed that the mom had planted.
Mm-hmm.
In
So
both
like
of
they're
them.
all three in that scene.
In both of them.
Yeah.
She had that conversation with both
her.
of them individually.
Yeah.
You know, where they start dancing in the living room with Jojo and his mom. And then when she's in the attic and she's asking what it's like to be a woman. That was great.
Yeah.
And then like, there's so many just little like same with like what was the movie we did that? Oh, it was Don't F with Cats where it dropped all these breadcrumbs and they all tied together.
Tied it in.
It was just like that.
Yeah.
With looking the tiger in the eyes. She said that the mom died, and then a few scenes later, there's
a tiger
painting
shot.
of a tiger
Yeah.
on the wall, and she's just looking at it, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Beautiful.
And oh my god, there's so many little things like that though.
And it was an
Like
odd
when-
adjustment because I didn't know what to expect going into this film
yeah,
because like I couldn't tell what it was. So I was like, what am I what am I about to watch?
yeah. But going into it with no expectations
Was
is
even
way
better. Yeah.
way better. Now back on the directing and these little seeds these little breadcrumbs being dropped, and they all tie back together. She had planted this. The director had planted the seed for the shoes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The mother planted the seed for the butterfly, explaining what love was, right? And this is
And
when
there's
he's
that-
getting into a complication with the Jewish girl. Goes on the street, his papers are falling off, and the butterfly leads him to his mom. Wow. I'm getting goosebumps again. Dude.
Yeah. That was
So
amazing.
good.
That was amazing.
Honestly,
I'll
like,
say it again though. That the little kid, how is he not nominated?
yeah, we're talking a lot about the directing, but the cast.
Yeah, 'cause,
Scarlett
like,
Johansson nominated for best
That's
actress.
the beauty of real talk. He'll be able to talk about the technical because he watched it from that point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it not as much from that point of view as I watch it from the actor. And amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, listen to Real Talk Shorts where we just make pointless noises for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, but oh yeah. So also I looked up last night. What was the number though? It was like 30 something, like 32 or 33. There was 33 Heil in
Really?
in
Yes,
that one
was
scene.
so funny.
So
that
like,
was so
but
funny.
He said he wanted that expression to be used that many times in like 1 minute to show like the funniness of it, but also because apparently that was custom.
Right. Well,
That was the hello, and that
it makes sense why he has an imaginary friend who's Adolf Hitler
Exactly.
because it's so drilled into
Yeah,
them.
he said how farcical that was, but how crazy the German mandates were
Yeah.
in that time.
Right.
Insane.
But at the same time, so funny.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
and
funny.
and even that scene where his JoJo's friend, who's like 11, fighting in the war, which is ridiculous.
You know, it's another weird thing. You know, you notice how we both know both of their ages. The friend was 11.
Yeah,
And the kid's 10.
That is weird.
I don't know why
I don't know why,
drove
'cause
that
I can't,
into our
I
heads.
can't tell you what that kid's name is.
I know his age.
Yeah,
I know he was a year older.
yeah. I think it was because I don't remember. Not the point. But he came up to him and he was like, "Well, have you heard about Hitler?" And JoJo's like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Oh, he killed himself. He decided he was done. It's a bad time to be Nazi."
Bad time to be a Nazi.
But it's like, how realistic is that though? Because like you would think that's such
When
like
he was
a
like,
odd circumstance, but like that's what they went through.
hey, you know who we need to talk about?
What?
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Hey, he was great.
Wow.
He was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And such a funny character. He's like this
Classic.
I mean, and with the contact in, you know, he was blind in one eye.
Yeah.
He's standing up there in front of all these kids just
Shooting
shooting
kids.
kids and stuff. And then my favorite part was he designed the costume.
Yeah.
The uniform changes that he was gonna wear into battle whenever the Russians.
And then it happens, and then, isn't it in like slow mo or something?
Yes, dude, he shows up because the world like slows down for JoJo because he's like
Yeah.
overwhelmed by all this war happening.
Yeah.
And then Sam Rockwell's character comes in, dressed up. He's got a phonograph on his hip for the music to
Playing
distract
music.
the Russians.
Yeah.
He's got like feathers and all
Oh,
this
God.
stuff. And
That
it's
was
so
classic.
funny because
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it doesn't seem important and just seems like this stupid little thing that they threw in there just
Yeah.
to have dialogue. And then it comes back at the end of the movie and it's so great.
Yeah.
But
That movie was so comically genius and so like gut wrenching.
yeah. Well, another moment that was so brilliantly walking that tightrope was when Jojo found him after the battle had ended, right? And he's been detained by the Russians.
And he's saving his life by calling him
calling him
a
like
Jewish
a Jewish
person,
pig, and he spits on him and stuff
Yeah.
like this. And like it's like that's like they had a heartwarming moment together right there, right?
And then he had to turn it just
was,
to save his life.
and it was kind of funny because he's asking like, just stuff that was talked about at the beginning of the movie, just from camp and whatnot. And he's like, hey, you became a soldier or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it so quickly changes pace when the soldier shows up, right? And then he starts yelling at him and he leaves, and then you just hear the machine gun fire in the background. And
And it's
but
like
it doesn't feel abrupt.
No, it doesn't. And it's weird because Sam Rockwell was originally pointed out to be like this, like not a nice guy because he was like a Nazi officer, right?
Yeah.
But then he saves the Jewish girl they're hiding by doing the birth date, and then also you thought the mom wasn't good because she was supporting the cause, and she ended up being killed because she was actually a good person, and he had to lose both of those people. That was what was sad about it.
Guys, if you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit,
we got to wrap this up here.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you got to go see it. I wish we had more time.
Yeah. Well,
I could go on for hours about this movie.
I give it a solid picture. I think it's going to develop a cult following. It'll become a cinematic motion picture. I urge you to watch it.
I say pretty confidently it will become a cinematic motion picture.
Yeah.
This year, there's been a couple of those that might be. But as you know, time will tell.
Yeah.
But
and
guys,
speaking of time, that's all the time we have for you today.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Like we said at the beginning, click on the link in the description. Become a supporter, get a shout out on one of our podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at real REELTLK_podcast, and Facebook at real REELTLK podcast. No underscore.
Give me that. Bless you.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Carson, any last words?
So long.
You're listening to Real Talk.